So, but what we're doing is we're just like the old big networks, they split their shows up into hours. Hour one's wrapping up, guys. We're going to start hour two. Hour two, big conversation coming up on hour two. We're going to get into, and if AJ can stick around for a few minutes, the alpha myth shatters. What's next for real men? The alpha male kind of thing is shattering itself all over the internets, and people are talking about it. We're going to talk about it. If AJ can stick around for a few minutes, talk about that. We're going to get into that. And then we have Johnny Murillo joining up as well as the community corner. So guys, here's how it's going to work. We are going to, Jimmy, we're going to end this stream. We're going to move on over to the second stream and keep the show rock and rolling. So AJ, when you get out of here on StreamYard, there's a second link. It says hour two. Click that, and we're going to join up there as well. And if you want, you can even do that right now. We're going to join over there. Does that make sense to you? Let's do it. Okay, so Jimmy, let's get there, pal. Let's get over to hour two here, and guys, come keep the conversation happening on hour two. And let's see here. Boom. Oh, Jimmy, it looks like we're on hour two already over here. Are we? Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Producer Jimmy is getting after it. I think we are on hour two in the new stream. Jimmy, is that true? Are we actually on a new stream here in hour two?
Hold on, let me ask you a question, brother.
Yeah.
All that fucking anxiety that you were leading to that first hour was just for that quick little switch?
Anderson, really?
Are you fucking kidding me? That's what all that mess was over. That what just happened?
Well, dude, do I have permission to tell my brother to fuck off right now? Fuck off, Anderson. I'm trying to run a professional show here, brother.
But honestly, bro, I was gonna say that was so fucking smooth. I was sitting there waiting for something to go fucking wrong. I was like, this must be some really difficult task. And he goes, wait a minute. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Welcome back to hour two of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. If you thought we tackled some heavy hitters earlier, wait until you hear what's coming up next on the show. The alpha myth is shattering, and we're digging into what's next for real men. Today's Morning Loop Reloaded. After that, we got Johnny Murillo taking the mic to share his incredible journey from pulpit to Hollywood production, breaking down barriers for Chicano representation. Then stay tuned as we connect, celebrate, amplify your voices in the community corner. Let's keep the momentum going. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Hour two begins right this second here, guys. Myself, my brother from another mother, AJ Zeglin, and John Anderson. AJ, I gotta ask you, man, are you a little bit, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, brother. Are you a little bit tired today, a little bit slow today, or I notice your energy is a little bit different today, Mr. Zeglin? Oh, we got AJ joining us here on he's just jumping into the stream here. I think. Thanks, Jimmy. Listen,
I'm going to defend my boy there. I think he just got brought into such a fire fucking conversation. It was hard to find a way in.
This is true too, Johnny. I'm going to do. Yeah, we got no. Jimmy's like, we got no AJ on hour two here, guys. If you've ever felt stuck, like you've built the life and know there's another level out there, I invite you to check out the Mornings in the Lab show. This is the community, men who want to grow, connect, and build something that lasts. The Mornings in the Lab membership is your way in. I invite you to follow Adam Holroyd, Lady Drew over into the Mornings in the Lab community. We're rolling up membership extras that'll help you lead from the front. Here's the truth, nation. It's easy to coast. It takes guts to invest in something real. We got the Mornings in the Lab store. We're rock and rolling, and everything is getting it after it here in the lab on a daily basis. Goodness. Okay, so as we keep figuring out where AJ is, and I see you there, Adam Holroyd, on hour two. Awesome, brother. I appreciate you hanging out with us on hour two as well. Johnny, the phone thing's working out. Guys, we got a phone line. We got the Mornings Lab hotline live right now. It's 431-300-3005. But you can't call or text right now because Johnny's holding the line up right now. So, but that's fun. Johnny will be back in the studio tomorrow. Johnny, back in the studio tomorrow, brother?
Yeah, this is our last night here.
Nice. And then you're heading back to California today, are you?
Yeah, I should have said last night. This is our last day here, so we'll be home tonight. Yeah.
Nice. It was a good. It's funny because when you get into the conversation on body counts, everybody has an opinion on it, right? And not a right, not a wrong. Just people want to talk about body counts, and I love your point of view on it, Johnny. Because as we age, the insecurities go away, and I'm really grateful how you talked with Marty because I think all of us when we were in our 20s or 30s, we had those insecurities. If you didn't, you were lying to yourself. I think true story.
Well, oh, brother, 100%. I mean, the comparison of, oh my God,
yes.
You see some fucking dude that she was with, and all of a sudden you're sitting there comparing yourself to him.
Yes.
Well, again, because you're still in that mindset of giving a shit what's she gonna think, what's he gonna think. Forget it. Once you ditch that out of your life, man, it's a game changer.
It absolutely is. Yeah, it's not worth worrying about, frankly, right? It's actually not worth worrying about at all. There's no point in worrying about that at all. All right, we got AJ on the hour 2 here. Awesome, buddy. You figured it out, pal. We got you up here, which is awesome. I love that. Okay, let's get. So there's. I got to pull some up here, guys, quickly here. I'm going to move myself to this camera over here and get after this one. Johnny, Marty, the manosphere is imploding spectacular, and honestly, it's the best news yet for men seeking genuine strength and purpose. Alpha male influencers, AJ, Johnny, are losing followers by the millions, while searches for authentic masculinity have surged 340%. Today, let's unpack what's rising from the atmosphere. I'm sorry, from the manosphere. When I say the manosphere, the Andrew Tate stuff, the negative toxic masculinity, apparently there is a cultural shift happening right now, which is leaning more into AJ vulnerability, more into communication, more into combining emotional strength with traditional strength. And men are increasingly choosing community, mentorship, genuine relationships over performative dominance and manipulation. And data indicates, AJ, that men are moving beyond this manosphere ideology where tough, I'm the man. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's more of the emotional side coming to life, and there's shifts happening, perhaps with the generations below us. I got to ask you, brother, I know you meet with men and women daily within your professional practice. Are you seeing this change happen?
Yeah, great question. I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope that's the shift that's going. I mean, I do think I have seen more males increasingly, like over the last few years, more males pursue therapy. If that's any indication of us moving in that direction. When we were talking about the body count, we were talking a lot about the idea of people being insecure.
Yes.
I think you could take that typical alpha male stuff and tie it right to insecurity too, and just be like, anyone yelling out from the rooftops how they're the alpha male probably have a lot of insecurities going on as well.
What's interesting, AJ, about that is that engagement with alpha male content. So the study has done a bit, has looked at the engagement across the platforms and this quote unquote alpha male type content. And when I talk about that, in my head, I think of, I'll just call it the Andrew type Tates of the world, right? And it's dropped by 67%. Where on the other side, gentlemen, Johnny, AJ, authentic masculinity, and we talk authentic all the time, and AJ, soft masculinity. Searches online have increased over 340%.
Right.
Yeah. There's this new definition.
Well,
Johnny.
Well, but here's the thing, though. I think when it comes down to it, social media has allowed a lot of imposters.
Yes.
Because a true alpha male in person, I got to dance with the definition of alpha male because I don't really know what that is, but. Let's just call an alpha male like a strong male. Maybe call him a leader. I don't know if that fits into the definition.
Yeah.
But because people are sick of the people that sit there and talk, really fun like they're hard asses, but they don't have the equal other side. And so I think that's what they're trying to get away from. I don't think people are trying to run from that alpha or whatever we'll call it, whatever the term is that are alpha everywhere. They're running from alphas that are only hard asses, but don't actually show that they're also hard asses showing their emotion.
I think we're seeing this, and AJ, I'm looking at you with this one, and Johnny, I agree with your comment. Actually, I fully agree with what you're saying, because I think it leads to what I'm saying next. AJ, we're seeing that happen in the coaching world, aren't we? Like, let's talk about hockey specifically. You look at the coaches of today, very much not the quote unquote old school alpha guy. Right. Like the coaches today, I believe they're as much in tune with who you are as a human, what's going on in your head, what's going on in your heart, what's going on at home with your wife and kids. Then let's talk about how you're performing on the ice. Am I correct with that? Like that's a whole different mindset, AJ.
Yeah, there's been a shift in athletics, and there's been a shift in how we communicate within athletics, right?
Yes.
And there used to be a very kind of paramilitary way of communicating in athletics, and a hierarchy of in an order within athletics that you would see almost kind of from that military structure, and that's where it kind of originated from, obviously. And yeah, there's definitely been a shift away from that. How we communicate with each other, people understand that there's a lot of different elements that goes into making an athlete, and there's a lot of different things in their life that affect their performance, not just what happens there. And there's been some real value in trying to prioritize or highlight or concentrate on the different things that makes this person a human being, and trying to be supportive of them in general, and the positive impact that could have on their performance. And I like what Johnny said too. You could easily argue that the guys out there claiming that they're an alpha, that they're not actually an alpha male. So establishing what that definition actually looks like. I would agree with him. I don't think there's a decrease in men that want to be leaders. I don't think there's a decrease in men that want to be strong, that want to be providers, that want to be protectors. I just think that our idea of what that looks like is shifting in a positive direction, right? It's not that less men want to be leaders. It's that men want to lead, and they're starting to realize that maybe that looks different than they thought. And maybe it's not the guy shouting with all the bravado and all the machismo and all the whatever, but maybe it's actually the guy who's out in front, leading through his actions and showing people how to have a balance.
Leading, what do you say, AJ? Leading in all areas of life.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And showing that balance, and not just being hyper focused on one little element, and kind of making that their whole personality, but having this authentic kind of global view and approach to being a man that encapsulates every part of your personality, every part of your relationships, and I think that's probably what we're moving to, right? Which is great.
Yeah, we're talking breaking the alpha myth with AJ Zeglin, John Anderson, and myself, Keith Billis. Hey guys, what happens when a pastor swaps the pulpit for a film set? We're going to welcome Johnny.
Hey, brother, sorry to interrupt. The perfect transition, because I got to jump.
You got to jump out of here. Johnny's going to get out of here. We're going to welcome Johnny Murillo in a couple minutes, the man turning Hollywood's lens into authentic Chicano stories. No gang cliches, just real talk and real talent. Johnny, before you go, brother, I want to wrap up our segment on the manosphere here. Guys,
yeah,
the collapse of the manosphere offers a powerful opportunity to redefine masculinity on terms that actually work. Authentic strength, we talk about it all the time on this show, is achievable, it's sustainable, and genuinely fulfilling. You don't need, guys, these rigid ideologies, or you need real competence, genuine relationships, and purposeful living. That's what we stand for in the lab, and that's what we encourage you guys to get after every single day. AJ, I know you got to rock and roll as well. Johnny's got to rock and roll as well. I appreciate you both. Final words from you, Zeglin, before you go, pal?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I didn't have anything prepared today. I hope you guys have a great day.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Look forward to seeing you again very soon.
I appreciate you hanging with us. And hey, if you got time, come hang out tomorrow for Free for All Friday. We're gonna have some fun tomorrow. We're figuring the agenda out on the fly, but we're gonna introduce a Free for All Friday coming tomorrow and starting on Fridays in the lab.
I will definitely stop in.
And Johnny and AJ, I told Johnny the news that we have a switch to the schedule, that AJ is going to be joining us more often on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Mr. Anderson's pretty happy
baby.
with that.
Hell yes, I am. Hell yes.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it too. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, boys. You guys rock and roll. Johnny, I love you, pal. Have a good one, okay, bud?
You got it. Hey, since I'll be back in home station, I'll be back to the normal schedule all the way to 6:30. When I'm obviously traveling, sometimes it gets skewed. So
beautiful.
Look forward to going the full run tomorrow, baby. Let's go.
You bet. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe. AJ's gonna get out of here. Johnny's gonna get out of here. Take care, guys. We got Master Roof joining us. Uncommon Mentality on Substack. Shameless plug. You got to get after. I would invite you to go check out Roofy over there in the Substack world. All right, Jimmy. I think it's time to bring in our first guest today, because that first guest couldn't find his way to the lab this morning. So we are going to find Johnny Murillo patiently waiting for us. I'm going to throw a little bit of music on. I didn't have any music on this morning, Jimmy. You don't want to know why? Because just the way the tech is working here in the lab, just how it was. All right. Today, we are joined by Johnny Murillo, the founder of Chicano Hollywood, a groundbreaking platform reshaping the narrative for Chicano creators. From his roots as pastor to leading a media revolution, Johnny's mission is mother and clear. Empower his community and challenge outdated stereotypes. We're going to dive deep into his journey, the birth of Chicano Hollywood, and now he's creating a space where Chicano voices are heard, seen, and celebrated. And it's fun. It's crazy because I'm having some fun with you here this morning on the show, but it's not lost upon me. It's not lost upon me, guys. We're talking about Chicano Hollywood when there's craziness breaking out in the wonderful state of California. The National Guard and the Marines and all that kind of craziness. What the hell, man? I don't know if we need the Marines in our own country. Aren't the Marines supposed to defend our country, not defend our own humans? I'm just kind of curious why we not trying to make the show political. No, not at all. I just don't know why we would have the Marines. I don't know. Just asking the question out loud. But hey, we're not here to talk to the Marines. We're here to talk about Johnny Murillo. Jimmy, let's bring up the man of this hour, Mr. John Murillo. What's going on, brother?
Morning, Keith. How are you doing, brother?
I'm fantastic. How are you? Where are you joining me from today, pal?
I'm from, actually, this particular morning right now, I'm in Northern California. I came up to help my sister move. So she's a resident up here in the north. So actually, we all the brothers came up to help do her move, so like that. But we just came in from LA. That's where we're at. We're based out of Burbank. So yeah, we're there. LA's home. That's what we do. That's what Chicano Hollywood's based out of. And as you know, a little bit of craziness going on in our city, you know. But
dude,
hey,
it's just fucking madness, man. Sorry for my language. And I have a platform, so I'm going to use it. And I don't. Why the fuck we're bringing the Marines?
You know, the thing about LA, you know, like I mean, you know, I'm originally from the north, but we've been in LA now close to 18 years. So the thing about LA is, you know, riots happen. There's going to be some kind of, you know, from the Zoot Suit. Think about that. Back in the Zoot Suit.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way up to, you know, the Rodney King. Then actually when the Vietnam War ended and we had, you know, not just Chicano veterans coming across, you also had, you know, everybody else. And there were riots going on in the barrio again with, you know, what going on with civil rights and so on. Rodney King, there was riots. Then there was the Black Lives Matter and so on. So now it's sparking up again. So one thing that LA knows how to do is to express, you know, some emotion. So that's what's happening. The difference is right now you have, you know, you got a president that has no problem sending in the Marines, National Guard. You have a city mayor and a governor that, you know, they just to try to be able to juggle what's happening and make the right decisions with their primary constituency. It was a tough thing for them. So, you know, we were getting text messages from, you know, different city leaders saying, "Hey, can you help us, you know, calm it down?" So, you know, we're kind of letting our people know, look, if you're going to protest, do it peacefully. But what's happening is that there's a lot of these other antagonizers that are getting involved. I mean, you know, there's whether they're getting paid or not.
That's what I like about it. That's what I like about it because listen, I'm all about peaceful protest. I'm all about democracy. I'm all about freedom. I'm all about speaking. What I don't like is the potential antagonization when you got a Marine standing there, or you got a National Guard standing there, and I'm trying to peacefully protest and. Maybe and it's such a fine fucking line, right? All of a sudden you step over the line, it just inflames. So I don't know. It's crazy. Listen, but we're here to talk some fun and have some fun, and we can have some great conversation about that as well. But let's leave that for another day, my brother. Johnny Murillo is joining us from Northern California. He has spent over 2 decades, two decades as a pastor before diving into the entertainment industry, bringing a unique perspective to storytelling. And Rufy, if you're listening, I know you are. Get this one, man. A hoodie that sparked a movement. The term Chicano Hollywood began as an on-set joke and materialized when a crew member wore a hoodie emblemized with the phrase inspiring you, brother, you, Johnny Murillo, to trademark it and build a brand. Did you know that was happening while it was happening at the moment? Or it was like, oh my God.
I'll tell you, I'll give it a little clarity there. This is what happened. So right at the end of COVID, right? I had a buddy of mine. He hit me up and he says, "Hey, can you turn these notes into a script?" Right?
Cool.
A couple other guys had an idea. So I got the idea and we fleshed it out to a script. The movie's called Horchata with Oat Milk, right? Basically, it's a gentrification story, right? It's a comedy. So we're like, okay, let's have some fun with this. While we were doing a dialogue meeting, like I'm writing slang from the 80s, but some of our talent were like younger, so I have to make sure we match it up, right? And we're having a dialogue meeting with some of the execs and the director. Yeah. And I had the script projected up to the wall. And when it's up on the wall, a director, a good guy, great, amazing director, Albie, he's up there and he's looking at the script on the wall and he's got a joint, takes a puff, and he just pushes this big old cloud of smoke in front of the script. And I was like, "Whoa, that looks cool." So I'm like, "Hey, bro, do it again. He said, "What?" I said, "Just give me another good puff of smoke." So I made him do it like 6 times until I finally got that shot. And he's like, "Man, I can't do no more." I said, "No." I said, one more, right? So I finally got the shot. I sent that shot to my daughter, who was a senior at Azusa Pacific University. And I said, "Check this out. I'm with Chicano Hollywood." That's where the name came from. You had professionals in the entertainment industry, a script on the wall, and a joint, and that's how like, oh, this is Chicano Hollywood. This is us, right? So it was kind of a joke. I love it. And that evolved where we nicknamed that production. I nicknamed that production Chicano Hollywood. And then the makeup lady shows up with a bunch of hoodies. And I said, "Man, there's something here." When I saw that Chicano Hollywood was prominent, and then underneath that, real small, was the name of the movie. So I realized there's something here. There's like an affirmation. And so that day, that was March 11, 2021. And it was on that day that I started the process. I started the trademark. I got the domains, and I launched the socials. And then from there till now, it's just kind of blown up into this movement, and which I love. So we're having a lot of fun now,
Keith Billis, Johnny Murillo, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends, hanging out with my brother from another mother, the founder of Chicano Hollywood. I see your comments, Alex. What's shaking? Alex Beeching, all the way joining me from London. I love you, Beeching. I have lots of love for you, pal. I love when you hang out with us here on the show. And I know Jimmy, I know I'm looking at the wrong camera, so I'm just pointing all over the place here. But Beeching says 100% Keith, 110% Keith, utter madness. It's like the U.S. is punching itself in the face. If you guys joining late, myself and Johnny were talking a little bit about the craziness happening in California. And hey, just a reminder, you guys, Johnny, I feel like we maybe grew up in the same area. You talked about the 80s and maybe the Cheech and Chong era. Well, listen, my brother, we launched an old school hotline, 1-431-300-3005. So people can text the show, call the show, voicemail the show, just like old school Howard Stern FM Shock Jock Radio, Johnny.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. I invite you guys to send us a text, make a call. If you guys got a question, you want to join the conversation, please call me. I might even take the call right now on the line. Johnny, what are the most persistent stereotypes about Chicanos in media, and how is Chicano Hollywood working to dismantle them?
Yeah. The most persistent when it comes to the term Chicano is going to be the Cholo gang member, the lowrider, right? That's when it comes to Chicano. When it comes to Latino, then you got us as the maids, you got us as the landscapers, you got us as the simpletons, or the dumb mechanic kind of thing. So those are the ones. Now, what we're doing, I tell the community, say, look, they are writing us. Now, I just mean whoever wrote, whoever wrote this, right? They are writing us the way they see us. If they were raised by some Latina, maid, or someone like that, or their gardener was a Mexican, when they're writing a script, they got to put in a gardener. They're gonna write what they saw. That's how writers write. That's how I write, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing happens if they got bullied in especially a lot of these writers come out of Hollywood and so on, or Beverly Hills, or whatever. So if they got bullied, or they got jumped by some cholos out on the street or on the campus, they're going to write gang members as cholos and so on. So those are the stereotypes. Now, what I tell our writers, I tell our people, look, we are the architects of the future. the way we write ourselves is going to be the way our future are going to see us. So we have to write ourselves as the president, as business people, as startups. But then I also say, look, I'm not afraid of a good cholo comedy either. I mean, we got one out right now, or Chato with Oat Milk. And I say it, as long as we own the narrative, we can control it. What happens is they are the ones that wrote it. And because we don't own it, they're going to write what they're going to write. But we have to control the narrative.
Interesting. I gotta lean into that one. Alex, I see your comment, brother, similar to us Asians in the UK. Good morning, Brophy. I see you in the comments. Jason, thanks for hanging out with us here as well. Owning the narrative. Would you say that is similar to how my African-American friends have tried to recontrol the narrative around the N-word? Which is
totally.
We're going to own the word to normalize it, to wipe it out, so that, and only we can use it. And I'm using that with my black friends community. Only we can use it because we're trying to kill the narrative around that. Are you leaning into it the same way, Johnny?
We have a lot of similarities. Like there's a lot of an amazing black-led movement within Hollywood. Of course, there's leaders like Tyler Perry and others.
Yes.
They're doing it, and and I can't say that the N-word is used in their dialogue, but they're controlling the narrative, right?
That's what I'm trying to lean into. Is just because you want to own the narrative and take control of it, so somebody else doesn't. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then especially with the word Chicano, right? Chicano, some way back in the 60s, was known as a derogatory term. Actually, 40s and 50s, a derogatory term to some.
Well, it's funny you say, because I'm 53. I'm a 70s baby. I'm thinking maybe you're similar. So I thought I was maybe raised with Chicano being not a good word.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. To some, it was not a good word. Now, to me, my grandfather was a farm worker. He was they were in San Jose. They traveled all over, right? They ended up in San Jose.
Yeah.
There's where we settled, right? And I remember one particular day, my grandfather gave me a patch, and on there it said Chicano Power. Now, he used to do the Cesar Chavez marches and all that. They're all farm workers, right? And he gave me this patch that Chicano Power, and he looked at me, he says, "Hey, we're Chicanos." And and even though he was from Guerrero, Mexico, he said, "We are Chicanos, and we have power." So that put it in my mind that Chicano was a good word. To some people, Chicano is not a good word. So what I'm doing is I'm redeeming that word. So Chicano is power, and we're going to redefine it. I'm calling us kind of like a Chicano 2.0.
Yeah.
We are the educated ones. We're the professionals. We're the ones, we're in politics now. We're in startups. We're, in tech. We're in education and so on. So that generation now of educated Chicanos, that's the stories that we want to tell, along with the good choro comedy. I'm not going to get away from that one, right? I mean, come on, that's awesome. But if we're the ones writing it, it's okay. That's where we control, like the black community. They're going to control their narrative. Well, we're going to control our narrative. That's the difference.
Hey, today we're hanging out with Johnny Murillo, the founder of Chicano Hollywood, a groundbreaking platform reshaping the narrative for Chicano creators. From his roots as a pastor to leading a media revolution, Johnny's mission is motherfucking clear: empower his community and challenge outdated stereotypes. Johnny, how did your experience as a pastor influence your approach to storytelling and now community building in Hollywood? Johnny.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because that's when I left San Jose.
That's why I'm paid the big money, man. I'm paid the big fucking dollars.
Let's get those good questions in there. When I left San Jose, I was 18 years old, got kicked out of high school. I was, messing up on the street and all that. Gave my life to the Lord, went to Bible school, right? In a nutshell. Now from a street rat to a very conservative Bible school within a month. I'm like, what am I doing here? And it just, it shaped my life. And then 23 years in ministry, because I'm a preacher as well, right? I knew how to tell stories. I knew how to, get the scripture out and so on. So when it came to storytelling now in Hollywood, I tell people, when I left the last church I planted, I was a church planter as well. The last church I started up in Sacramento, it was a great church. It was all hood. I had like 300 people from the hood. This is an area called Oak Park. and Fruit Ridge Community Center. There's like Black, Hispanic, Hmong. Our church was just like, I had pimps, prostitutes, I had them all, drug addicts. That was my church. I loved it. But then, you know, things happened where God said, "Now I'm going to send you to Hollywood." And I'm like, "What the heck am I doing in Hollywood, man? I'm a Pentecostal pastor. We preach against Hollywood, right?" But God had a different idea, right? So he's like, "No, I love them over there too. I'm going to send you over there." So he sends us over there, and now I'm like, "What am I doing here?" So I had to, the mission I had was not to start a church, was to get in it. So I started acting. I did background acting. I started picking up some roles and stuff like that. And that's how I learned. So when it comes to now, fast forward where we're at, I don't feel like I ever left the pulpit per se. Even though I don't preach as much, or actually I don't preach at all. It's been a long time. I feel like I still pastor because I still get the phone calls. I got some yesterday from a young actor saying, "Hey, how are you doing? I'm really struggling." So, you know, get a phone call in, set a time to get some coffee next week. I get calls all the time like, "Hey, can you talk to my husband?" I mean, I still pastor people. So that's never left me. I just don't do it from the way of a pulpit. I do it because I'm Johnny, the producer, and I'm involved with people's lives, and we're constantly pouring in, and so it's different, but it's helping people. So the thing just kind of switched from pulpit to production, and nothing really changed as far as I'm concerned. But
that's interesting. That's interesting. We got a question from the community here. Jason, I'm not really full. Sure. When you said, well, Jason first of all comes in and says, "I loved the movie American Me," and then Jason comes back and says, "Did he like Blood In, Blood Out?" I'm not sure what that means. Johnny, do you know what that means?
Yeah. So American Me and Blood In, Blood Out, right? Two movies of the same basic story. One was American Me, led by Edward James Olmos, an amazing man.
I knew of American Me, but I did not. I got to be honest. I knew of American Me. I'm a fan of Edward James Olmos. He's a star, man.
He's the man. Yeah, and then had basically they told the same story more or less around the same time. Blood In, Blood Out had Enrique Castillo, Danny Trejo, all these other amazing people. Yeah, all those guys were all connected with them. So it was two of the same stories. So you don't necessarily have two camps, but you had two of the same story. How it happened that way, there's a lot of politics to go behind it, however it came out. And there are some roots in there. If you dig a little deeper, it gets kind of a little crazy. But the question is always, which one do you like the most? I like them both. I mean, I'm the worst when it comes to criticizing a movie because I'm like, dang, I love that movie, right?
Yeah.
Especially now that I know Enrique, I know Danny, I know all the others. Like, man, I love to see the movie. Same with American Me. So to me, what happened was when one came out, American Me came out first. When Blood In, Blood Out came out, it was right around the same time as the riots, the Rodney King riots.
Okay.
So you're talking the barrio was on fire again, just kind of how this last couple of days. Right now, it's chilled out. I mean, yesterday it was fine. I mean, it's chilling out. Just a small little handful of people that are antagonizing the cops. That's it. But in the 90s, when Blood In, Blood Out came out, they tabled it. They just said, "We're not going to show this," and they put it away. So it never really did a theatrical release. They even changed the name from Blood In, Blood Out to Bound by Honor, and just if you wanted to get away from the real negative stereotype, because it was a gang movie, prison gang movie.
Interesting.
So it was basically someone same story, two people telling it. One got a theatrical release because it was before the Rodney King riots. One got tabled. Eventually, though, Blood In, Blood Out has resurfaced again. And I think you can find it online. I wish we have a streaming app. I wish I can get it online, but the licensing fees are too much for me right now. But the movement itself, it's been 30 years, I believe. Yeah, 30 years since these movies came out. So they're enjoying this anniversary tour. A lot of the amazing talent are doing like pop-up shops and signing autographs. So there's kind of like a resurgence of Blood In, Blood Out right now. So to me, both movies are great. And I like both, all lead characters. Yeah, that's it right there.
That's awesome. Thanks, Jimmy.
Benjamin Bratt. I mean, think about it. That was one of
Benjamin. Man, I these names. I'm just like Danny Trejo, Benjamin Bratt, almost. And Brophy comes in with almost lucky that he survived that movie being shot and not getting shot. That's and then
there was some street politics going on with American Me. You know, there's a lot of stuff that happened with American Me. So so it was kind of a not a good thing, but there's some blood on American Me, but yeah, it was a crazy, you know, still great story. That, you know, that particular story. I remember there was one scene in there where they're talking about the farmers in the north. They're in the prison. They're talking about the farmers in the north. They call them Nuestra Familia. Well, that was when I was a little kid. That was my stepdad, and that was my my tios and all that. They're all caught up in that like. So to me, it's like, oh yeah, we were mentioned in the movie. It was a big deal. But again, it was back in the late or early 70s and so on. That's what they were referring to. So I kind of have a little connection there. We're like, oh yeah, they're mentioning my stepdad and my tio. So, you know, so
you got
but that's the story with that. So little street politics got involved and got a little blood on it. So it wasn't a good thing, you know. But two movies, the same story, told different ways, and you know, and both, you know, as far as the community is concerned, they love them both. Everybody loves them both, you know. But
love it. Mike McQuillan joining us with the question here. Hey, Johnny, you want my chop? I will admit I don't know what he means by that, but we got Mike McQuillan asking the question about chop there.
Yeah, what year is it? What year is it? See, yeah, that's one thing I say. You know, I tell people, like, there's a cholo culture, right? My older brother was a good cholo. He did his thing on the street. My younger brother was an even better cholo because he became a lifer after that, right? I was in the middle, and you know, I tried it. It wasn't my thing. I wasn't very good at it, but I was a low rider, right? So my first car was a '53 Chevy pickup. I picked it up for $400. I just, you know, pimped it all out, and it was metallic blue, chrome rims, all that. So
that's awesome. And then Mike says that's the classic line from Blood In and Blood Out. Uncle Keith's learning this morning, guys. I appreciate that. That's awesome. And then we got Brophy coming in with, I love the Chicano lowrider community. That's awesome. I love your engagement with our guest here, Johnny Murillo, joining us from Northern California, the founder of Chicano Hollywood. So, Johnny, the traditional Hollywood system is, let's just face it, it's going through massive changes, like massive changes. It's being blown up right now. So, that aside, what opportunities do you see for Chicano creators as this new landscape emerges?
It's an amazing time to be an independent filmmaker. What's fallen apart is the studio system. That's what what we shall see. It's traditional Hollywood, right? It's decentralizing. Texas has just put out their big tax incentive, so studios are going over there all over the world. They're in the UK. They're all over the place, right? So when it comes to the studio level of filmmaking, that is like down. I think it's like down 30-40%, right?
Yeah.
But for the independent filmmaker, this is our time to shine. And you even see a lot of A-listers are just starting their own companies. What's happened is you don't need the traditional system anymore. There's a lot of gates that you had to get through to even get anything done. And I recognized that when I first got here.
Yes.
So now we have, and I'm looking at my community, right? And this will go for any community. But as Chicanos, we have talented crew, directors, DPs, and so on. We have some of the top. You know, the guys that we work with just DP, like big stuff, Cobra Kai, and all those kind of like that. They're all Chicano guys, right? So all these guys are in the studio system. They they're Chicano guys. They got the skills to get in and do the indie stuff as well. And we have writers, we have directors, we have talent, and all that. So we are able to produce at the same level as anybody else with what's out there now, without having some studio exec that doesn't know anything about what we're doing, put a red light on it. So now is the best time. We as our movement, we have our own it's called Chicano Hollywood TV, our own streaming app. So you can download our app, Chicano Hollywood TV, on all the Rokus and the Apples and all that stuff, and you see our movies that we're putting up there. You could, within our talents as well, we have, amazing actors. We're building our ecosystem on our own. We have a magazine we put out. We have different events that we do. And to what my mission is to capitalize on what's happening now to create this ecosystem, entertainment-based economic ecosystem.
Yeah.
because we don't need them anymore. We can do it within ourselves, So, and that goes with any other independent content creator. Now's the time. If you're going to be in this game, if you don't jump in hard, this is the era of the independent filmmaker. And now with AI coming, we're able to, even do even bigger stuff when it comes to like your big budget movies with the explosions and the helicopters. That stuff normally an indie guy couldn't do. But now we're actually able to, incorporate a lot of that more just with AI. So I was telling some of my partners yesterday, saying, we got to dive into AI because I'm seeing some, different AI samples, and they're really looking really cool. So I'm not a big fan of replacing human beings, but if I need a really solid explosion, I'm gonna stick it in there. If I need a really solid building to collapse, I want to stick it in there. So there's ways to use it as a tool, not to replace people, but to enhance what our storytelling is. So to me right now, it's the best time.
You mentioned partners, and we're gonna wrap up here with some quick hitters here in a second with you before we continue the show to the community corner in a few moments. Jason Brophy coming in with Keith. Bring Johnny back after this again for sure. I agree. We might have to do some pop culture stuff and dig into some good Cheech and Chong conversation, Murillo.
Oh yeah. Those guys are amazing. They just came out with a new movie. It's like a documentary.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So I got a question for you. Talk about partners. So Johnny, you've recently brought on 2 experienced partners to accelerate your production company. How will this collaboration enhance your impact?
So which particular ones are you talking about?
I'm not sure, but I think you bought some partners on to help accelerate.
I got some partners in there. Yeah. So I'll tell you who I have. I'm building this amazing team. So my most recent one is Isaac Fernandez. Now his expertise is in the docuseries reality show. He was one of the developers of the Kardashians way back when it first started, first 3 seasons, right? He's also part of the development team of like 600 Pound Life and all these others. So that's his expertise. So we're going to send out a press release pretty soon about him, but we locked it in. So staying focused on what his expertise is one of is what we're going to really try to excel in. To do reality shows is a lot cheaper than to do scripted stuff, basically camera and create the story. That's his expertise. So we're going to see a lot of growth in that area. I've got Alberto Portillo, who's also, him and another partner, Joey Martinez, both those guys were the key video producers, supervising producers of a company called BuzzFeed and Pero Like, and those are big digital media companies. So those guys, me and those 2 guys, we go back for years. We just partnered up with Bria Media. Bria Media is with Carlos Ponce and Manny Ruiz. Manny I call him like the godfather of digital media, right? His companies where he's built major companies, a company called NGL with John Leguizamo, and then they sold that to another company called Me Too. So Manny's like the godfather of digital media. He's partnering with us, and Carlos Ponce, he's a big novela star in the Mexican space, and we're partnering to get into the verticals. That's another conversation, but vertical storytelling is hot right now. It came from China. And you could see it on, on TikTok and so on, but they also have a lot of apps. One's called Real Shorts. They're like these really crazy novella style dramas, over the top, cheesy type of stuff. But they got like 40 million subscribers, and they're making just a ton of money. So we're partnering together to get into that space with the Latino voice in it, So we're building those. I've got some great movement happening the last, couple months that these things are coming together, We have our film festival coming up, our very first one. We had way over 200 submissions, and now we're trying to piece out together what we're going to show in 4 days. So the movement itself is growing. I've got chapters in Chicago, El Paso, Houston, Portland. I've got right now about 12 chapters all over, and the goal is to grow to about 20 before the end of the year. And these chapters, all they are is just Chicano Latino filmmakers, not just that, Black, Asian as well, that we're helping train. That's the biggest thing. I tell people that our voice will only get louder when there's more of us. So we need to train more of us. So my big focus is training. If you have a vision, a heart to be an actor, how do we get you there? You want to be a director, how do we get you there? And I'll tell them, I'll start you, but your work ethic and your character is going to have to take you further. But I will get you into the game. So that's what our mission is.
Good morning, B-Drive. Good morning, Bernard Artist joining us in the comments this morning. Let's do the... We're joined by Johnny Murillo, the founder of Chicano Hollywood, groundbreaking platform, reshaping the narrative for Chicano creators. We're going to get to some quick hits with Mr. Murillo before we wrap it up with him. Let's get after it.
This is great, Keith. I love your vibe, man. This is
haha. That's what we do here, brother. That's what we do here. That's what we do here.
Yeah, you do it well.
All right. Rapid fire, my brother. Tacos al pastor or a classic PBJ?
Oh, dude, I'm tacos, bro. I'm tacos all day long. Carne asada. Yeah.
Morning routine, non-negotiable?
Non-negotiable. I wake up early and cafecito, a little devotion time, get some sweat out. Yeah, non-negotiable.
Is there a show you secretly binge watch, Mr. Murillo?
Not intentionally, but my daughter always has Friends on. So, yeah. So, not intentionally, but Friends.
Gonna re-ask the question. Brother, what's your guilty fucking pleasure you watch, Mr. Murillo?
That I watch?
Yeah.
Dude, if I get a chance, I'm watching action, but I never get a chance. I got my wife and my daughter, and they're watching their stuff. So I have to stay late up at night just to watch
action.
Yeah, dude, I want to watch action. Yeah.
Most inspiring Chicano artist.
Inspiring Chicano artist. I'm gonna say Danny Trejo. Only because
yeah.
And it's not just because of his acting, but what he does in the community. He is so involved in the community. He gives back so much. All the other guys do too, but it just, first spot on like that, it's like Danny. Danny's the guy. He's really authentic.
You know what? I've never done this before, but would you come back and bring Trejo with you? Not that I don't want to talk to you, but I've been coming to Trejo, man.
I can't promise that because they have a real tight schedule, but I'm gonna actually hoping to meet with him next week. So
I'm a fan of his, man. He makes such great work. I'm a fan of his. When I see a Danny Trejo movie, I'm like, I gotta fucking watch that because he's awesome.
Yeah, his team, his agent, man, she's intense. She's got them all.
Good stuff. Yes. Yeah.
Meet with them next week. But I've met one before. We've interviewed him. We did a big National Guard outreach when the fires were going on at the beginning of the year. We did a big National Guard thing, and he came out and talked to the guys and the girls.
Yeah,
and he was really.
I would love, and even Edward James, man, that'd be awesome too. But
he's amazing. He's amazing.
I love when he took his run on NYPD Blue there a long time ago. I love when he was I think he won some Emmys for that. I think he won some Emmys for that actually.
Yeah, and Miami Vice too. I mean,
yes.
I love that show, and Miami Vice, that was my show. So if I could binge watch anything, it would be that
one. Johnny, if you could collaborate with any filmmaker, artist, host of a great morning show like Keith Billis, who would it be? Johnny Murillo.
To do the it'd be great to do this huge project, right? We have some ideas that we want to do, but I would think it'd be cool to tag up with either with Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez, he knows the voice and so on. Yeah. So just because he knows the voice, it'd be cool to do a big action, kind of like his Desperado when he first came in.
Yeah.
We have ideas about the Mexican Revolution. And to really make that big, I think Robert Rodriguez would be the wish list. But I haven't met him yet. I don't know him that well at all, actually. So I don't.
Nation, we're going to bring Murillo back and have him bring all of his buddies with him. So we're going to bring on Almos and Trejo and Rodriguez, and we're going to have a big old team. We're going to have a Chicano. We're going to have a Chicano fest led by my brother from another mother, Johnny Murillo, this morning. Johnny, my final question for you, brother, before I let you go on with your day. You've been so grateful with your time. If you could write a letter to your younger self at the start of your pastoral career, knowing, Johnny, that you'd end up in Hollywood, what would you say?
I would tell my younger self, bro, don't take life so serious. Just enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. This is my younger self before I got into ministry. So I would just, like any other young leader, you want to change the whole world all of a sudden, and you miss the day by day. So I'm really trying to focus on enjoying the day by day. That's what I would tell. Now, if it was my way younger self in my teenage years, bro, don't be dropping acid. You're going to be messing with that stuff the rest of your life. But don't do that.
Oh, Johnny, I've thoroughly enjoyed. You know what? I've thoroughly enjoyed your time here. I'm thinking, Jimmy. I'm thinking that Anderson and Murillo would have a good time here. So I think we got to bring Murillo back to meet our brother from another mother, John Anderson, into the lab here. Johnny, where can folks connect with you, find you, meet you, engage with you, and so forth? Here's your time to plug Johnny Murillo and all the work you're doing.
Yeah, you want to connect with me? The easiest way is go to Instagram. Follow me on Chicano Hollywood on Instagram, TikTok. Primarily, my daughter runs TikTok. I run Instagram, and you can just send me a message. I'll get it because I'm the one that's on the most. And if you want to connect with me, so just go to Chicano Hollywood on IG. You can email me too, info@chicanohollywood.com. And I don't stay invisible. I'm there. Like, people hit me up all the time. Like, even before we came on now, I'm getting texts at 5 a.m. I'm like, who the heck is texting me at 5 a.m? It wasn't you. So it was a gamer from San Diego that's like, I have this idea. What if we do Chicano gaming? I'm like, and I'm like, at 5 a.m, bro, you're telling me? You must be here, go to bed or something. But yeah. So that's how IG be the best place, because I'm the one that answers those messages.
Awesome. But did you have some fun with me this morning?
Oh, bro, I did.
You got up early for me, so I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me and my community this morning. I'm looking forward to engaging with you. I believe we have some coffee on the calendar later today. I'm looking forward to doing that and connecting with you and getting to know you off the show. Johnny, I'm grateful. Thank you for all you're doing for the Chicano community. Thank you for educating me about the Chicano community. And brother, I always say this to everybody, you're now part of the Mornings in the Lab alumni. So you're welcome back here anytime, my friend. So
this is fun, bro. I love this. This is fun. Thank you.
You're working on something, you're plugging something, you got stuff to announce, or you want to create some content for the world, please come knock on my door. We'll do some more stuff together, okay?
Awesome, brother. Gracias, man.
Gracias.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jimmy, let's get him out of here. Let's keep it rolling. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. It's time. You guys hear the sound? It's time for the Community Corner, where we connect Substack and LinkedIn. That's a true story right there. Johnny Murillo hanging out. What a great dude, man. We're going to connect LinkedIn and Substack on the Mornings in the Lab platform that happens right here every single day. And here's a question for you guys. What if the secret to daily morning motivation and men's health isn't about being the alpha, but about real talk, small rituals, and bold pivots? Let's jump into some of the stories that'll shake up your morning mindset and get you fired up for the day. Oh, I know it will. Let's start with this one. Let's start over on Substack, Jimmy. You ever feel like you're just drifting, overstimulated, underslept, and running on autopilot? Well, Ayushi Thakar from Milk and Cookies serves up a relatable list of micro habits that help her hit reset when life gets fuzzy. We're talking about changing clothes just to feel human, journaling to hear your own voice again, digital detoxes, cooking, and even sitting in your car doing absolutely nothing. Sometimes the most powerful daily morning motivation comes from the softest, smallest rituals. So guys, I ask you this. What's your go-to move when you're feeling lost in the noise? All right, keeping it going over on Substack. Number 2, when becoming a dad bruises your ego. Andrew Boyaga gets brutally honest about how fatherhood rewired his brain, his writing, and his sense of fulfillment. He says, forget being the main character. Parenthood means you're suddenly the supporting cast, and the plot twists that come fast and furious. Letting go of control and ego open up new levels of motivation and meaning for Andrew. He's found more joy in his kids' tiny victories than any external validation or career win. So for all those dads and soon-to-be dads out there, how has fatherhood changed your morning routine and mindset? And how are you dealing with being the supporting cast? All right, Jim, let's move the attention over to LinkedIn. How to win the morning, even if you wake up like a zombie. Robert Anderson Jr. just didn't roll out of bed feeling like a champion. No, baby. But he still managed to set the tone for the day with a few intentional moves. He made his bed. He meditated. He knocked out a 10-minute fitness routine and sent positive messages to old friends. His message? Intention is everything. Whether it's health, mindset, or just building momentum, your daily actions define your value and your purpose. So nation, I ask you, what's your win this morning? What's your morning move? Let me hear it. Drop it in the comments. I know your morning move, Bernard. It's prayer and gratitude. I see you out there, Bernard. I appreciate you. A lot of gratitude coming towards you. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. John Boitnott writes how James Hilton had the dream corporate job, jet seeking, big deals, big paychecks. But it all felt empty. So he took a wild leap. He ditched the corporate world and built a fitness business focused on people over 50. The journey was messy. Mental health struggles, financial uncertainty, and a total lifestyle reboot. But fitness became his anchor, and now Jim's gym is transforming lives, helping clients conquer chronic pain and rediscover confidence. Who else in our community has made that bold pivot? Stories in the comments below, guys. And hey, that is a wrap for today's LinkedIn and Substack stories on the Mornings in the Lab Community Corner. If you want your story featured on the show, I invite you to follow us on Substack. I invite you to connect us on LinkedIn. Tag us in your next post. All right, Jim, I'm going to wrap it up with a couple creator spotlights, you guys. We're going to keep the momentum over on LinkedIn right now. We're going to have a little conversation about it's wild. It's wild how fast life can flip. 1 month, you're clocking in at a corporate job. It's over there. Yeah, you're over there. You're feeling stuck. You're living in your dad's house. Wondering if all that talk about personal development and morning routines actually works. No, Rick Clody, you're the man, my brother. I appreciate you, Rick. I appreciate you, my friend. Next thing you know, you're up at sunrise. You're alone with your thoughts. You're trying to figure out how to make a real change because the old way just isn't cutting it. Well, here's the thing. Some people to break out by talking about it. But what about the guy who actually lives it? Talk, live. What are you going to choose? Who leaves security behind, trains like a pro athlete, and builds a business from a laptop? No blueprint, just pure discipline. He doesn't just read about goal setting. He's been up before dawn, training for months, reshaping not just his body, but his entire mindset. This guy's lived the digital nomad life, jumping from Amsterdam to Costa Rica, where morning light, quiet time, and healthy habits became non-negotiable. He's helped business owners ditch that cold outreach. He's grown his own audience from 0 to 10 to thousands. He teaches consistency. Oh my God, Jimmy, what is this, a novel? Melissa, what are you getting me, novels? Let's meet Jesse Van Brugel. He's the co-founder of Authority Figures and a leading voice for entrepreneurs who want to do business differently. Jesse, we would love to have you on the show. We got to shorten these up, guys. Getting a little bit too long here. Jesse, we'd love to have you on the show. Would love to have you on the show and be part of the Community Creator Spotlight on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. All right, let's keep it going, Jim. Let's get over to the next one here. I'm just looking for it here, guys. Give me a quick second here. There it is right there. All right, we're going to keep it going on Substack. We're going to move the attention over to our next one, and that sounds a little bit like this. Ever chase the next win? Thinking the next milestone will finally make you feel like you've made it, only to wonder why it still doesn't feel right. Now imagine someone who spent years doing just that, building companies, building big teams, raising millions, outwardly crushing it. This guy founded 3 companies, scaled one into the nation's largest high school sports platform, raised over 20 million and built teams of more than 100. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends is going to introduce you to Ryan Vaughn, the founder of Inside Out Leadership, executive coach, writer, and the man helping entrepreneurs build from the inside out. He's now coached over 100 founders with a combined market cap of $4 billion, blending business with mindfulness so leaders can actually enjoy what they've built. If you want honest insight on leadership, fulfillment, and building a life you won't burn out, check out Ryan Vaughn and his Inside Out Leadership newsletter, because your best work starts with who you are, not just what you do. True story. And hey, we'd love to have you on the show. Yeah, we'd love to have you on the show, Ryan. This is the Creator Spotlight, part of the Community Corner. 8 o'clock Eastern time, mornings live with Keith and friends. We celebrate humans like you. And I'm giving you the light, Ryan, so you can shine on somebody in your orbit so we can keep paying this segment forward. All right, Jim, there's our creator spotlight, the community corner on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. We get after it every single day at 9:30 Eastern time here on this segment of the show. It's time to wrap up, guys. Wow. Fun show today. I love when our first guests never show up. I love the idea of being ghosted. I do. I think it's here's what's fun, right, guys? Is that people forget that people forget that I'm the one with the platform. Yeah. People forget that I'm the one with the microphone. And people forget that I'm the one that can call you out if you're going to ghost me. Guys, it's actually not that difficult. If you can't make the show, you can drop us an email. You can drop us a text. Because it's not as if that we don't over-communicate to you. Let me explain. So when you book a spot on the show, you get a confirmation email. And you get a confirmation text. And then the day before the show, you get another email. And you get another text. And then the morning of the show, you get a text. There's tons of opportunities to get out of the situation. So, if we're talking about character, I'm just wondering, is that how we say goodbye to somebody? We just ghost? And if you really want to, you could call the hotline. You could call the hotline, 1-431-300-3005. There it is on the screen. Yeah, true story. So if you can't make the show, because, hey, guys, this isn't a hobby. This is actually a business we're building here. So when you don't show up, it's like affecting the business because we put a little bit of time into preparing for our guests. You might have noticed. So I love when ghosts just don't show up. And I got no sarcasm in anything that I'm saying, Jimmy. None at all. I'm with you, Lady Drew. Ghosting is nothing but disrespectful. It's crazy, man. It's funny because I laugh with my team all the time. How many times people just don't have the respect to say, hey, I can't show up, or hey, I'm busy, or hey, I'm caught up, or hey, something. Right? So, Cody, I see you there. Adopt or die. The times they are changing. We're going to get better daily with help from our friends in the lab. You got it, brother. I appreciate you. And Jesse does rock. And of course, coming back over here to my vertical stream of comments. We got B Drive coming in with thank you, Keith. I'm grateful I found the show. You guys' authenticity and genuine care is refreshing. I appreciate you too, brother. If you don't show up, we don't have a show. Shorts, milestones means you still have more to go. The path awaits. Shorts them more than ever. Bernard, what the hell are you talking about? And I know you're laughing like I am right now because you're frantically typing, and I'm like, yeah, what are you saying, man? Disrespectful at minimum. Say a prayer for them and their well-being and go for it. I appreciate you, man. And yes, Jimmy, not a little bit of time. We're doing a big for our guests. Yes, we got a lot going on for our guests. And we got Rick coming back with when a practice has a name, it's a problem. Respect is mutual. My thing. I get you, Rick. All right, guys. Well, listen, we're going to get out of here. We're back tomorrow. Free for all Fridays. It's a brand new segment we're starting on the show here. What does it mean? I don't know. Actually, figuring it out today. But here's what it is in my head. I'm going to put a bunch of topics on the table. I'm going to put them into the parking lot. And then I'm inviting you guys to join the show tomorrow. Come in early. We're going to have an open conversation. We're going to throw a bunch of topics out there and see where it takes us. Free for all Friday. No guests tomorrow except you. And here's how it's going to work. If you're a member of the community, Lady Drew, Adam Holroyd, you guys can get a spot at the table. You guys can just show right on up. We're going to invite you guys into the lab first. True story. So if you guys want to get up and get onto the show, all it's going to cost you is $3 a month. So it's going to cost you $36, or it'll cost you $20 a month, which is a couple $100. What does it mean for you? You get to be part of the paid community. And it is not about lining Billis's pockets. Cody, you know that, man. It's about investing into the growth of our show. How can it not be amazing with our handsome chief at the helm? It's exactly it. And Free for All Friday is coming up tomorrow. That is exactly it. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. 8 o'clock Eastern time, Free for All Friday. I hope Marty's. I'm gonna text Marty. I know Marty's busy with some life stuff, but I hope he's gonna show up here tomorrow. Lady Drew, I know you're gonna be here tomorrow. Bernard, if you can get up and get after it, I invite you to join us early on the show tomorrow. Good time, I know you'll be here. Holroyd, I know you'll be here. Rick, come join us on the show tomorrow for Free for All Friday. Mike McQuillan, you come join us on the show for Free for All Friday. The phone lines are gonna be open. The text lines are open. Man, I just feel like I'm running a big media company over here today. Come and get after it. Let's freaking go, baby. Rick Clody, you get the last word. Jimmy, get me the hell out of here. Mornings in the lab, 8 o'clock, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Whole word. See you tomorrow, guys. Ciao.